My name is Michelle Langlois. I'm a sister in temporary profession with the Faithful Companions of Jesus. When I first heard the call to religious life, I was 37 years old and living in Calgary, Alberta. I was working as a teacher, and I wouldn't have said necessarily that I was unhappy, but I knew that something was missing, and I just wouldn't have been able to articulate what exactly that was. I went through a painful time in 2011 when a loved one died, and it was also during this time that I had an extraordinary experience of encounter with God in the midst of that pain. And so I was aware of being called into deeper relationship with God, but I wasn't really entirely sure how to make that happen. I was attending Mass at my parish one Sunday when a visiting priest asked the single people in the congregation about whether or not they might be called to religious life. And in that moment, I just felt this kind of answering tug within me. And it just seemed like a really strange call because, I was someone with no real knowledge of religious life beyond the movies, and I didn't know, that Ignatian spirituality was even a thing. I didn't know any sisters, so it was really difficult to know how to proceed. But I knew that I needed help in discerning how to make sense of this call. And what I did eventually is I was working at a high school, and I went to the chaplain at the high school, and she was able to direct me to the FCJ Sisters for spiritual direction, having worked with them herself. My first meeting with Sister Bonnie was a revelation to me. I hadn't known that there were sisters who didn't wear habits, or, even that sisters could be kind of like down to earth and approachable, that they might work as teachers and principals and social workers, that they might aspire to higher education. All of this was new to me, and it was very helpful for me in those initial stages of discernment. Over the next few years, spiritual direction was a huge help to me. Retreats, prayer with the sisters. I also found a lot of confirmation in our charism, which in our case has a huge emphasis on companioning with people in their day-to-day lives. And so as I lived through all of this, I was aware of a sense of feeling like I was finding what had been missing. And I would even describe it as discovering something within myself that had always been there, but just was waiting to be recognized. Since taking First Vows, I have been here in Edmonton Catholic Schools, and so I continue to work as an educator. I'm on the Vocation Awareness Committee here. I write. I'm an amateur videographer, and more recently a speaker. And so being called to religious life as a faithful companion of Jesus has very much opened up new horizons for me. And I can only guess at what new horizons are still yet to come.